A world of information and education, or a dark web of bullying, grooming and graphic images? On Safer Internet Day, we'll examine how to keep out of trouble online. I'm Martin Stanford. This is Insight. Welcome to Insight. From shopping and banking to chatting and dating, huge amounts of our lives are now lived online. But while they all make life more convenient, they're not without risk. Young people in particular can find themselves in trouble, with a recent survey suggesting only 1 in 3 parents feel confident they can protect their children online. To mark Safer Internet Day, we'll bring you some expert advice. But first, Juliana Olayinka has been hearing the experiences of some young students.
Young people adapt very quickly to new technology. They're using it to react to global news stories, spark new relationships, and create an identity that at the time seems right.
Well, we know at just a click of the button, the internet can take you down a very dark path, which is why campaigners are using Safer Internet Day to highlight the potential risks of browsing the web to young people.
We've come to a London college to talk about some of these issues with a group of teenagers.
So how much of an issue is cyberbullying for you?
It is a major concern because people need to understand that there are boundaries and those boundaries may not be informed.
Sometimes people think saying their opinion is okay, but the way they form their words can be really hurtful to people.
It starts off harmless because people think that's just a joke, but the more it keeps to go on and that joke keeps going on, people can find different ways to edit it and make things worse.
50% of young people who participated in a recent survey said that they had experienced some form of cyberbullying.
So do you understand the implications of your digital footprint?
One thing that I found surprising is that I've never realised how alarming that is to find your Facebook picture online on Google and it would be the first thing that you see. I mean, that's shocking.
Many people find an excuse of deleting history as a way to get past everything. And I say it to a lot of people that you can delete the history, but you can't delete the server. As once it's sent, it's sent.
75% of companies now have formal policies that require their recruiters to do online research when screening candidates for a position.
So how often do you come across inappropriate content?
Some images and like say war pictures and that, but I think some of them are educational. They can show an audience that war is terrible. You don't really want to see constant images of that. You want to, obviously, you want to educate yourself, but you don't want to see too much.
I've seen some pictures that have locks on them, like, you know, some are blocked and some are not, and there are age consent and things like that. And I'm sure like younger children wouldn't really know how to access that, and I feel like we should have more locks on certain things.
63% of teenagers surveyed said accessing inappropriate content online accidentally is an issue. Raising awareness through Safer Internet Days is one thing, but what type of support do young people need?
If you look at something big like Facebook, okay, stuff like that just happens. But what companies like Facebook and many other social media platforms companies can do is, you know, strengthen the whole security thing and make sure that kind of content is banned. But if at least it comes out, at least it comes out to people that are over 18.
Facebook has the power to know like what race you are, so I know that they can guess what age you are based on your posts and your likes and dislikes. So I think that based on that and not the age you say, because that gets you out of like the blame away from Mark Zuckerberg, I think that they should use that to like influence what like information comes to you.
As the internet evolves, these issues are unlikely to go away. Engaging with young people on the topics that they care about is an important step. Juliana Olayinka, reporting for Insight.
ChildNet International is an organisation that tries to help young people keep safe on the web. Here are their top tips, what they call the 4 C's. Conduct. This is all to do with being aware of the risks when you share information, your digital footprint, and reporting anything inappropriate. Content. Knowing what is harmful. understanding not everything online is reliable, and again, how to report things you don't like. Contact, realizing that people sometimes aren't who they say they are, and how to avoid or get out of bad conversations, sexual advances, or cyberbullying. And commercialization. The web is an easy way to lose money through mistakes, malicious software, or just revealing too much. Well, to get more advice, Juliana went to speak to the boss of ChildNet, the chief executive, Will Gardner.
How has internet browsing evolved over the past 20 years?
You know, we all remember having dial-up internet connections where you could only access the internet when nobody else in the house was using the phone. You know, the change has been huge. There's a range of different issues that we've been dealing with over that period of time. They have stayed quite consistently the same, but there's more avenues. So with social media, children are publishing a lot more. Chat rooms, they always could use chat rooms, but now there's I can have a network of people that I've got an audience and I can publish.
The young people we spoke to said they actually like seeing unfiltered content, so they know exactly what's going on in the world.
How do you get the balance right to give them the levels of exposure to risk at the time where they can manage that risk? And that's not easy. It's too easy to say children in one lump, but you know, there's many different ages and speeds of development that we're talking about. Clearly for younger children, we try and protect them more, and there are safer environments, and we'd have different types of advice for those young people. And for older ones, it's about, you know, trying to help them find where the line is. We want to try and protect them from graphic content, absolutely we do. We want to be able to give them the choice to be able to protect themselves, really. We have, you know, stories appearing in the media when things, you know, tragic cases, when things do go horribly wrong, and I think that does make parents anxious, and I think that anxiety is heightened by the fact that technology can seem quite inaccessible. It moves very fast. I spoke to an 18-year-old just a few weeks ago who was saying he couldn't keep up with his 14-year-old brother because he was using completely different services, and he felt like he was from a previous generation. So in just 4 years of generational change, for parents clearly it's a similar thing but just magnified a little bit more. So we do need to be encouraging and motivating parents, and you know, we use Safer Internet Day as a big shout out to try and reach as many parents, as many children as we can, to generate the conversation between the two, because children can teach parents a lot, show them a lot, reassure them a lot, tell them that they know about safety a lot, and the parents can learn from children. But children also need parents, and we've seen that in research with primary age children, so children up to the age of 11. If they have a problem online, the first person they would go to is their parent or carer.
Do young people want the guidance?
Sometimes we assume that internet safety is something that we do to children. Actually, it's something that children want very much for themselves. They do have worries and concerns, and it's right that we are looking to deal with those.
So who does the responsibility ultimately lie with? Is it the parents? Is it the service providers? The social media networks? Clearly it's not the children.
I know the answer to that one. It's everybody, unfortunately. Government have a key role to play in motivating, you know, industry and supporting users and making sure the legal framework is correct to better protect children. Parents and carers have got a key role to play in supporting children online. We know that, and we know that young people have the best outcomes when parents are engaged on this subject. Children do have a role to play because they interact with their peers, and we want to encourage children to be good digital citizens, to look after themselves, but respect and look after their friends too, because what they post can not only impact upon themselves, but on others too. And industry have a key role to play, clearly, to try and help make their services a good as environment for children as they can be. Throw in schools as well, who have a role in trying to educate children to use technology for educational purposes, but prepare children for the world outside of school. And then you can see, well, that's just about everybody. And on Safer Internet Day, we are trying to build that coalition of different stakeholders to really get involved and support this as a day and this is an issue, and hopefully that will keep people engaged on this subject. There are some important steps that social media can take, and to be fair, some of the bigger players have taken these steps, and we've been actively pushing for those. So we want to see clear, accessible safety information for users on the service. They're the people that know the service the best. They're the people who can organise to get the right information to the user at the right time. having the right protections in place for younger users and for all users, to be honest. Safety tools like being able to block, being able to report someone, having a responsive report function so people can see that something happens once you do make a report. These are really important safety tools. In the social media environment, it's more the user who polices the medium rather than the service itself. They take action when they get a report rather than go monitoring or policing the environment for fun. So it's really crucial that these tools work really well.
You're with Insight next. How should we protect ourselves and our children to ensure the whole family can stay safe online?